Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video because I have another 5 bonus niches for you. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about embroidery. And I'm using hats as an example, but of course you can embroider all sorts of different products. Printify now has embroidery. No, I'm right. Printify now has embroidery. Printful I have always used for my embroidery, so I still do, but Printify now has embroidery too, and they have embroidery on shirts, jackets, hats, t-shirts. I mean, you name it. There's all sorts of different products that have embroidery now. And so if you're not doing any embroidery, you might want to consider it. And so this is just an example I have. This is one of my listings. This is a Grandpa Established 2025 hat. And I do have one that says Grandpa Established 2026 already, just so you know. But I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm also going to show you how I got that font there with the little tail on the Grandpa. And so the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pick my product. So I'm going to do the hat for the example, but you can pick any product that you want. And so the first thing I'm going to do is go over to Printful because that is the one that I use for my embroidery. And I do that just because they had embroidery first. And so that's what I started with. I'm happy with them. So that's what I continue to use. So right now I'm on their product catalog and I'm going to go to hats. And they've got lots of different hats, beanies, snapbacks and everything. I'm just going to go with the dad hats, baseball caps. And the most popular one you'll see is this Yumpong 6245. And so this is the one that I typically use. It's a regular dad hat and it's got the, the adjustable backing there. But this is what we're going to be starting with. So now for these hats, the embroidery area is like a rectangle in the front. And when you're not sure what size you're going to use, what we'll do is come down here. You'll see the options, the details, materials. We got your description, shipping, file guidelines here. This is what you're going to look at. And so it's giving you the print area. Now let's see, this is for the DTF Flex and it's a 5:2. Let's see if it changes with the embroidery. So they just added that DT Flex, which is newer, direct to film. But we're going to go ahead and look at the embroidery, see if that changed anything. And so for the front, it's 5.5 inches by 2 inches for the front. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, when I get things like this in inches, I want to change them into pixels because I'm going to design in pixels and I use Canva for my design. And so all I usually do is just like multiply it by 1,000 or something. And so let's say I wanted to make this 5,500 pixels by 2,000 pixels. That way I'm keeping the dimensions, but I'm getting a big pixelated area. Not that it necessarily matters for embroidery. Definitely for prints, I want to keep it big, but let's go ahead. And with that in mind, we're going to jump over to Canva. And I'm going to start with a custom size. So I'm going to click here where it says custom size. And what we're going to do is go ahead and do 5,500 pixels by 2,000 pixels. And we're going to create new. And so this is roughly the area that you're going to have for the hat. And so what we want to do is fill this area up with whatever we're going to do. So let's say I'm going to hit T on my keyboard. That's just going to pull up a text box. And because this is a Grandpa hat, I'm just going to go ahead and put Grandpa and make that nice and big. And I'm going to pull up one more text box down here. By the way, just hit T on your keyboard. That'll pull up your text box. And I'm going to go ahead and put established. Let's go 2026 and make that a little bit bigger. So here's essentially what we're starting with. And then from here, it's just a matter of picking fonts. And you can pick any font you want. With embroidery, you want it to be kind of bold. And you want it to have some good spacing to it because embroidery won't look good if the lines are too thin or too close together. So something bold, something easy to read is going to work best. And there's 2 ways that we can do this. So I'm going to show you 2 different versions. One using just Canva fonts, and then another one using Creative Fabrica and using their font cloud, because that's how I'm going to get sort of those glyphs that you would see on fonts. So for this version, let's just use Canva, and I'm just going to pick a font. I kind of want Grandpa to be somewhat scripty, but beyond that, it could be anything. I could type in script and do a search and just start looking through some of the scripty ones, trying to find something that is going to be easily readable. So something like here's Nexus script. That's a pretty easy to read one. Or the Oleo script. That's an easy to read one. So we're looking for something like that, something that I can see pretty easily. I don't want anything that's going to be too thin or too curvy. It might not look as good with embroidery, something like that. So again, because we're doing embroidery, we want to find something that's easy enough to read. Now, this is the one I decided to go with because it had sort of a little bit of a vintagey feel, and it was bold enough without being too bold. And so this one was called Vintage Goods. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to angle it a little bit and make it go all the way across the page so that it really fills up that embroidery space. So, you know, something there-ish is going to look relatively good. I like that. And then with the established here, again, I'm looking for something simple and bold. I mean, I could just take the Canva Sans and bold it, and actually that would be pretty easy to read right there. You could just do something like that. I think I did go with another font, and I'm pretty sure, let's see, I'm going to search for the one I think I used here. And so that would be Lucilo, this one right here. There you go. So it's a little bit more bold, and I can take away the bold right there. And that looks pretty good there. Make sure it's spaced down a little bit. And so that would be design 1, Grandpa Established 2026. Now you don't have to worry about colors because with embroidery, you're going to pick the color thread when you go to embroider. And so unless you're doing like one of the ones where they print on the thread or they dye the thread, this is easy enough. If you want these to be 2 different colors, what you could do would be do one in a different color. That way you can select the color for each one of them separately. Again, it doesn't even matter which color you use because you can pick the color threads when you go to do this. So let's just start with this one. I'm going to put, let's say, Grandpa 26 hat, right? Oops, hat. And I'm going to go ahead and hit share. We're going to download this. It's a transparent background. It's a PNG, and we'll just go ahead and hit download. And so far, so easy. Now I'm going to show you how to make one that has a little tail. And so I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this because what we're going to do is we're just going to change the fonts. Now to do that, I use Creative Fabrica. So I'm going to jump over to Creative Fabrica right now. And Creative Fabrica, by the way, has tons and tons and tons of fonts. So right now it's just recommended for you and has fonts. And it's showing you a lot of fonts. And what you'll notice is a lot of them have these glyphs here. And if you haven't seen any of my videos showing how to do the glyphs, I'm going to show you here on this one. When you download the font as is, you won't see the glyphs. So you have to come back and use their font cloud to see the glyphs. Now, a lot of fonts are free, and so you can download tons of really cool free fonts. Unfortunately, the feature you need to get the glyphs, that is going to be part of their subscription. So you do have to have a subscription for that. But go ahead, pick one that you like that has sort of the glyphs that you like. The one that I ended up going with, and let's just see if I can search for it here, is one called Master Day. Master Day. There it is. So this is Master Day. So it's a nice thick one. It's got lots of cool glyphs. And what I can see as I go through here, it'll show you some of the different glyphs that it has. This is the one I'm interested in, is that kind of underlined glyph. And so that's what made me like this. So if you find one that you like, you'll just go ahead and download it. Now it's going to download it as a zip file, and you're going to have to go to your downloads, click on it, and then you're going to have to drag and drop it into your download section. I mean, so I already have this, but let's say if I was going to just do it again, I'd go ahead and download, close this, and now what I'm going to do is go back over to my Canva page, and then I would go to my fonts. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of that. So back to basic fonts. And you can go down here where it says upload font. So if you click upload font, it's going to pull up all of your fonts, and then you can go ahead and pick the master day and hit open. It'll tell you to confirm the following, that you have the rights to use it, and you can hit upload away. And it will upload your master day, and it's going to go into your, usually your section up at the top here, uploaded fonts. So they've got it differently. So here's my uploaded fonts that I can just go ahead and click on. And there I have Grandpa. And so now that I have that, I'm going to have to go back over to Creative Fabrica to get the glyph. And so if I jump right back over to Creative Fabrica, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top where you have tools. And so they have different tools. They have a new AI font generator, flow, font cloud, shape cloud, web generator, all sorts of different things. What we're looking for is going to be font cloud. And so we're going to click on that. It's going to say manage your fonts. And so I'm going to open font cloud. Again, if you have the subscription, then this is totally included. If not, I think you have to pay individually when you use it. But if you do a lot of font type stuff and you have font glyphs, then it's totally worth it. Now, what you would do would be to upload your font here if you didn't already have it uploaded. Now, I already do have it uploaded. There it is, my master day right there. But if you didn't, then you would go ahead and upload it. So you click on the one that you want. It'll take a second to load, but it's going to load all of the different characters, including the glyphs. And so once all of the characters come up, you can go ahead and scroll down, and you can see you're going to have your regular caps, your lower cases, and then as you keep going down, you're going to find the individual glyphs. And so this one has a lot of different characters. And so you can see them all here as I scroll down. But we're starting to get some of these glyphs. So we've got some of like the tails, or like the P with the glyph, the Y. And so you can see how some of these look really pretty. What we're looking for, that's a pretty one too, is that big underline. So this one right here where you're getting those big underlines. And we want it for the last letter of the word that we did. So we did grandpa. So what we want is the A to be underlined. So we're looking for this one right here with the A with the underline. All you have to do, this is super easy, click it. It's copied to a clipboard. So even though it didn't look like it did anything, it did. Just says click it, and it copies it to your clipboard, and then you can just go right back over to Canva. And once you're there, just highlight that A, and then you're just going to paste in your new one. So you can just hit Control and V. That will paste in your new one. So Control V, and just like that, you've got your glyph. And so when you know how to do it, it's super fast and super easy, and I can go back and forth a billion times. And so that's tons of fun to use, especially if you like some of the glyphs, and some of them can embroider pretty nicely if you do a lot of embroidery. So something like this, you're going to get a really nice embroidery. I might not angle this one quite as much. It depends. Let's see how big I can get this. So I'm just going to go ahead and scroll it up nice and big. So something like that looks pretty cool. Make sure it's pretty centered. And then the established here, I can keep this, or I can change the font again. I think for this one, I did go ahead and change the font. And so for this one, I used one called, let's see, I think it's this one, Bugaki. And so it just gave it a little bit more character. Whoa, I don't know why that's jumping around. Let's go ahead and close this. And so I can play with the size of it, move it wherever I want, bring it under. So something like that. So then I can go ahead and retitle this page, Grandpa 26, and I can just put glyph, because I put the glyph on it. And then same thing, we're just going to go ahead and share, download. It's a PNG. It's a transparent background. Because I now have more than one page, I'm just going to go ahead and hit page 2, hit done, and hit download. So now that I have both of my designs, I can just jump right back over to Printful. So here I am back on Printful. and I'm on embroidery. And so let's go ahead and make a product template. So generate product template. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And we're still on embroidery. You can switch it here if you want to. And we can go ahead, got it, and pick a color hat. You can pick all of the colors, whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and do dark. Dark hats do tend to sell the best. So much like t-shirts, the blacks will tend to sell the best, especially with the guys' hats. The blacks and the camo actually sell the best. And so what we're going to do is upload or drop your design here. So you just click on that. And we're going to have to go here where it says uploads. So we'll upload that. And then we can upload our grandpa design. So let's do our font glyph design here. And I can hit apply. And so here it's got it on the hat. And you can see over here, it's giving you colors. So this is the color on your design, and then this is the color thread that it will be. So we can go ahead and choose whatever color thread we want. So I can go ahead and make grandpa in white. And then if I wanted to make established a different color, I could choose any one of these colors. Or if I want to keep it white, or sorry, not black, white, I can make them both white. And so you can always choose your thread color. So it really doesn't matter what color you use in your design because you can choose the thread color. But if you want different elements to have different colors, make them different colors in your design. So for, if I wanted to switch this up and make like grandpa gray, for example, and have that be white, I could do that. I could do gold. I mean, so you can see I could go ahead and play with it. The gold might actually look nice on the camo there. If I was going to do that, I would probably want to actually do them both in gold here and see how that looks. And so actually, I think the gold looks pretty good on the camo if you were just going to do the camo. But I typically go ahead and keep with the white thread. That is going to be the most popular. Now you can always go ahead when you make your listing and tell them that they can message you if they want a different thread color. Once the design has been digitized, you can always go in and change the thread color. That's fine. And so, you can make that an option for people to go ahead and just message you if they want a different thread color. But I go ahead and use black for my mock-ups there. So there it is on the camo. And then here it is looking really nice on the hat here. And so this is the one that you saw. And I can save that to templates. Or I can go back and erase this one and show you really quick what the other one would look like. So if I go to upload files, and I went with the first grandpa one that we did. And so this one was just using regular Canva fonts. Same thing, I'm going to go ahead and just make it white. And make it white. Oops, sale. And so there we have the other grandpa hat. And so two different styles that you could do. And by the way, this does integrate also with Amazon. So if you sell on Amazon, or if you have like Seller Central, you can go ahead and sell the hats on Seller Central too, and on Etsy and on Shopify, whatever platform that it is that you're selling on. So I do have these hats selling on my Etsy shop and on Amazon through Seller Central. So that is what you would do for embroidery. Now, you do have to keep in mind that embroidery is an extra charge. So, I mean, it'll show you down here what it's going to look like. If I was to go back all the way and just get rid of this, let's just go back to the product page real quick. Okay, so I'm back at the product page here, and it's going to give you your price here. So right now, if you do the printing, the DT Flex, my price here says $11.69. If I do the embroidery, the price is $13.49. So the embroidery is a little bit more expensive. And then you also have to consider the first time you embroider something, a specific design, there's a digitization fee the first time. That's like $6.50. Which isn't a big deal if you sell a lot of that same design. If you only sell it once, then that can be like all of your profit. But assuming you're going to sell multiple, I guess, products with that same digitized design on it, then it's no big deal. But you do want to factor that into your cost. So when I added the $6.50 in here, I would be up to about $20 for the hat. Plus the shipping, so we'll just round it up to $25. So about $25 the first time you sell this hat is what it's going to cost you. So make sure that you've, obviously priced it above that. I'll price my hats anywhere between like $29.99 and like $33, $34. It depends. If I do the flex fit, it's a little bit more. If you add in like embroidery on the side or the back, then it's an additional cost. So it just depends on, how much embroidery you want to do. But those are all just things to consider. So I showed you this for a hat, but it would be the exact same if you wanted to embroider any other product. So anything that you wanted to do, if I was to just go back to products, and let's say I just went to like men's clothing, and let's just embroidered shirts right here. So these are the shirts that offer embroidery. And so if I was to go ahead and just pick the Gildan, for example, there's the direct to garment printing and then the embroidery that you can do. Direct to garment printing, it's going to cost me $8.39. Embroidery, it's going to cost me $10.46 if I want to do the embroidery. Again, I can come down to file guidelines, and it's going to show you the different areas that you can embroider. And so it'll give you like left chest, it's a 4x4-inch square. If you do the center, 4x4-inch square. There's a large front, there's a left top sleeve, right top sleeve. And so these are the different areas, and these are the different sizes so that you know, and then you can design in those sizes. And then the process is pretty much exactly the same. And just, keep in mind that there's a little bit of a extra fee every time you do a new design. There's also this unlimited color one. So this unlimited color one will kind of dye the thread so that you can have as many colors and almost the exact colors that you want, which is going to be good for something more like a patch where you've got maybe a bunch of designs all embroidered into like one scene. Standard embroidery, you're allowed 6 colors. So keep your designs to 6 colors or less. If you have more than 6 colors, well, it's not going to give you any more. So just so you know, and you're stuck with the choices that you have for their threads. Unlimited color you can do. It's more expensive, so that's another $3.50 if you do the unlimited color. So just things to think about with embroidery. But beyond that, there are so many different products that you can have embroidered. And again, if you haven't tried it yet, you really should think about incorporating it. I have done embroidery on backpacks, on fanny packs, on t-shirts, on jackets, on sweatshirts. Looks really good on like hoodies, obviously hats. So go ahead and play around with that, create some product templates. And if you like them, go ahead and upload them to your shop. Obviously you can, whatever shop you've got integrated, you can do. Printify also has embroidery too, and I think right now they don't have a digitization fee yet, so that might be something you want to look into if you're new to it. But I think the pricing is a little bit more expensive, so they might build some of that into the actual price of the product. So, they're going to get their money one way or another. Anyways, if you have questions about this, drop it in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as you can. If you have video requests, you can put those in the comment section below, and I'll try to get you added to my list. Recently, I've been doing a lot of reviews of your guys' Etsy shops. So if you have an Etsy shop and you would like me to review it, you can send me an email. My email is always in the description below each video. So if you want me to look at your shop, you can go ahead and send an email there. If you're new to print on demand, I do have a print on demand beginner's course that I sell on my Etsy shop, and that is also linked below this video. It's something like 20 bucks on sale, and it covers everything you need to know as a beginner, including four videos on how to create an Etsy shop, how to open it, how to list your first products, how to incorporate your production partners and all of that. So if that's something you're interested in, that's available for you guys as well. And because you were so patient and you did wait until the end of this video, I do have another 5 bonus niches for you. And so without any more waiting, these are your 5 bonus niches. And because we are fast approaching the first quarter, I decided to go with some Valentine's Day niches. These are actually the anti-Valentine's Day niches. So number 1, not today, Cupid. Number 2, single AF. Number 3, I hate you less than other people. Number 4, love sucks. And number 5, happy Single Awareness Day. And so don't forget, if you're starting to design for your Valentine's Day stuff, that you can do anti-Valentine's Day stuff as well. Again, I hope you guys are doing really well with your sales. I hope you're continuing to learn new skills and grow your portfolio. And I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.